Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on Episode 7 of the anime series, Log Horizon 2. And we're pretty much picking up right where we left off with that shocking reveal that Krusty has all but disappeared from this framework. You know, whatever this particular environment is, whatever this dimension is, does this mean he's gone home? Is he being, held captive somewhere? Tons of questions as we open this episode that really don't get resolved because of the focus of this episode basically largely being on Akatsuki, still trying to find out for herself what the teachings is. She was told by Sujiro in the previous episode, and that really didn't help her all that much. And all through this episode, we're really seeing her training with all of these other fighters and stuff, who it remains sort of questionable whether they have actually tapped into the teachings or not. Some of their guild masters and such like that we find out through dialogue have, but I'm not convinced all of the, sort of fellow adventurers that Akatsuki is fighting off in this episode and training against have actually tapped into that, but she's very much determined to do so. And alongside that, of course, we have Riaz rising to the challenge in the face of what's happened to Krusty, the fact that he's missing, basically, as sort of the, plotter, I guess you could say, of his particular guild. We see that she's very much taking to heart her responsibilities in Akibahara, trying to get everyone together. And basically, by the end of this episode, they've amassed not only, like, the 24 people they're going to need for this, essentially, raid, concoction that they have to put together to get Emhart Nelreth, under control and try to stop him and all this stuff. But they've also approached Lanessia asking her if she would shut off that magic power grid that we found out through the Kuni clan member, basically we saw in the flashback as well in this episode. She was recollecting the fact that they're talking about maybe being without a magical barrier for decades. It would take them potentially decades to, re-implant the entire power system if they shut it down. But of course, this is going to be something necessitated by Emhart Nelreth's activities. With this flavor text revelation, pursuing this investigative sort of mindset about how far and wide these ramifications are going with the flavor text, we find out that pretty much the sword Emhart Nelreth wields is probably eating away at his mind, much in the same manner as we had debuted to us, and the characters did as well in the previous episodes, that the characters within this realm are essentially, conforming to the genders of their particular, I guess you'd say, playable characters, what they were playing as originally. Now that they find themselves in this world, they are conforming to the, psychological, emotional, and physical elements of their particular character design and such like that. And very much this flavor text through weaponry and the mythology of this entire, MMORPG realm that they find themselves in is starting to become very much real in a similar effect, in that, the weapon that essentially Emhart Nelreth wields was part of this raid. It was part of this mythology. It was about this knight who basically had been turncoated by a woman close to him, an elven princess or whatever like that. And essentially he went on to wield this weapon himself as a raid boss, trying to seek vengeance. And, basically his heart was darkened with evil and all this kind of stuff. And so we have very much the same thing overtaking Emhart Nelreth's mind. We even see that he's down in sort of the sewers talking to himself, trying to ward off this effect, but it's taking effect, and by the end of this episode he is back to being just malevolent and psychotic as influenced by his weapon. The hope being that once the magic grid is shut down, his particular suit of armor, which is, that's where it gets its fuel from, will then be depowered and they'll be able to take him down with this great plan that Riaz has put together of keeping it down to like 2 people taking him on at once, because the more adventurers and raid attackers that are around this guy, per the framework and settings of these kind of raid attacks, basically this guy's HP will just shoot through the roof depending on how many more people are trying to attack him, are in the vicinity. His powers, his barriers, his buffs, all these things will be up, and up with as many people coming after him as, they've tried in the past. So the idea is to hit him with fewer attackers from different areas in the city. I guess they're trying to bait and switch him all around Akibahara to lead him to other fighters as those previous, weaken and stuff like that, and just whittle away at his energy little by little rather than attacking him en masse, which would just superpower him and would allow him to slaughter everyone. And so it's just pitched by the end to see that Lanessia also wants to be a part of this particular attack. She's been basically debating throughout the entire episode what she needs to do and whether or not she has the courage to shut down this magical barrier. And by the end, we're not really sure, but it seems like she has that in mind, wanting to join the raid attack. And of course, we also have the owner of the weapon shop who sold, effectively, this sword to Emhart Nelreth, really feeling sort of guilty in a similar manner to how Akatsuki has in the previous couple episodes, where she feels like she's not rising to the challenge enough, and she's, the responsibility is hers, and her learning curve over these last couple episodes has been to stop being the lone wolf and to really become part of a group and have the group work together in unison, in tandem, toward this similar goal. We have this particular shop owner realizing, well, this is kind of my fault. I sold this guy the weapon. And on that same sort of shelf, there's another uber-powerful weapon that nobody has yet bought. And we see this character gazing at it longingly, as if making a decision. And we're kind of hinted at in the preview for the next episode that he or she may have decided to put that weapon in their own hands in an attack on Emhart Nelreth, to bring him down once and for all. And the biggest question I have, of course, we've seen Nyanta giving basically Akatsuki some words of wisdom and encouragement, and it leads her to sort of process everything she's been learning over the last couple episodes with the teamwork and everything like that. And also we had some words between her and Lanessia to that effect. But what I'm really wondering is, where the hell is Shiro? Where is Krusty? What's going on with those characters as all of this is unfolding? Are they going to be heading back soon? Is their raid going well or not? Did Shiro actually get killed in the crossfire when Akatsuki did, and, she saw him in that sort of nether realm, or that beyond, earthly realm, whatever you want to call it? Was that real? Was that not? I mean, these are the questions going through my head as we're watching these episodes unfold, and we're not hearing anything from those other characters. So I can't wait to see where we go from here. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of Episode 7 of Log Horizon 2, if you've seen it, and what you make of this flavor text becoming a reality situation. Are any of our heroes potentially poised to be overtaken by some sort of mythology left over from the game that this used to be? And could that spell disaster, or perhaps, thumbs ups, like just a great thing to behold if that were to happen? Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video and that it finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.